was smoke in the vessel where the spirit should be, and I stood by the shelf thinking no one could see. I had written fair labels, I had ordered them well, but the inside was empty, though the outside looked full. In the Master Storehouse, the shelves stood tall, vessels dressed in holy names, but hollow after all. Tainted with devotion, arranged to look right, but the inside carried ashes that could not bear the light. One was called faithfulness, one was called pure, one was named obedience, as though the thing was sure. But the grayest jar above them, where every eye would part, was the jar named surrender, and it stood empty at the heart. When you open the lid, what will you find in me? Will it be truth or a shadow I keep? When you open the lid, when you search who I am, will there be surrender or just smoke in the jar? Storehouse, nothing false will stand. The label will not save thee when he weighs it in his hand. When he openeth the vessel, when he searches every part, what is written on the outside will not hide the heart. There were two cups before me, one was bitter and true, one was sweet with deception that would hide me from you. One would break all my falsehood, one would leave it in place. One would empty my hands, Lord, one would cover my face. The room was full of smoke, and men called smoke substance, praised the sound of religion, but never learned obedience. They loved the row in order, they loved the honored part, but never climbed the altar with the whole of who they are. For surrender is not a language, and surrender is not show. It is all upon the altar, with no self left below. Not polished reputation, not a well-rehearsed sound, but a broken will lay open when the Master cometh round. When you open the lid, what will you find in me? Oh, will it be true, a shadow I keep? When you open the lid, when you search who I am, will there be surrender or just smoke in the jar? In the Master's storehouse, let all falsehood be cast down, for an empty jar of surrender can bring a whole. House down. And you open the Master's surrender. And you open the lid, open the jar. There was smoke in the vessel where the spirit should be, and I stood by the shelf thinking no one could see. I had written fair labels, I had ordered them well, but the inside was empty, though the outside looked full. In the master's storehouse, the shelves stood tall, vessels dressed in holy names, but hollow after all. Painted with devotion, arranged to look right, but the inside carried ashes that could not bear the light. One was called faithfulness, one was called pure, one was named obedience, as though the thing was sure. But the greatest jar above them, where every eye would part, was the jar named surrender, and it stood empty at the heart. Oh, when you open the lid, when you open the lid, what will you find in me? You open the lid, will it be truth or a shadow I keep? When you open the when you open the lid, when you search who I am, will there be surrender or just smoke in the jar? When you open the lid, in the master's storehouse, nothing false will stand. The label will not save thee when he weighs it in his hand. When he openeth the vessel, when he searches every part, what is written on the outside will not hide the heart. There were two cups before me, one was bitter and true, one was sweet with deception that would hide me from you. One would break all my falsehood, one would leave it in place, one would empty my hands, Lord, one would hide the haze. The room was full of smoke, and men called smoke substance, praised the sound of religion, but never learned